All right, here goes. First attempt at a video. Listening to Girls Stop Apologizing today by Rachel Hollis, and felt like I have something to say. I'm not sure to who. Maybe it's even just for myself. I just know today is supposed to be my son's graduation. He is 18 years old, gonna be 19, and today is supposed to be the day we celebrate his graduation, which is huge for me because I had my son when I was 16, and I worked really hard to graduate high school. I needed 200 credits at the beginning of junior year when I found out I was pregnant, and as soon as I had him, I knew I needed to pull myself together, and I needed to work hard to graduate for him because it's important in life. Getting an education, becoming a better person, all the things, as Rachel would say, all the things. And he was there at my graduation. He was almost 2 years old, running around in the crowd. I'll never forget the amount of pride I felt knowing I had done that for him. And I moved on to community college, and he was there at that graduation. Again, proud to show him that if you work hard, you can accomplish anything. And learning in life and knowledge is power. And again, when I graduated from the university, trying my hardest for the first 10 years of my son's life to show him how important knowledge and growing is. And today he's not graduating because he isn't trying, because he wouldn't try. And at some point, you realize you can't make the decisions for your kids. And for parents who have children who are difficult and they've gone through all the things. They've done counseling, and they have known the principals on a first name basis, and they have, dealt with every difficulty you can. It's not an easy journey. There are some people who have children and they get an easy journey. Not that parenting is easy by any definition, but there are levels of what it takes to be there, to show up for your kid. And some parents are blessed with children who they don't have to show up as hard, and they don't have to have as much patience, and they don't have to deal with as many things. My son is diagnosed ADHD, ODD, and on the spectrum. For those of you who don't know, basically we're dealing with lots of mental health issues, extremely impulsive, very busy, and honestly, he just never wanted a parent. Not that any kid ever did, but my son, not for lack of consequences, because he's always had consequences for every poor choice he's ever made, but just does not learn from those consequences, no matter what they were. So I've spent 18 years giving it my all, from every system you could think of, to every chart, to counseling, to getting my degree in social work, so that I could learn how to best show up for him. And I did that. I've always done the best that I knew how to do as a parent, and continue to try and learn how to be the best that I could for him. Did that mean that I did everything right all the time? No. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect as a parent. He's not perfect as a kid. And we're all just, trying to do the best we can as humans existing on this planet. For me, today is hard to swallow. There's been a lot of things that have been very difficult with teenage years, from him running away to him stealing, to drug use, to not going to school, to being on probation, to him being in juvenile hall. But today is hard. So I want to say something to the parents who have those days and who have those kids. There isn't any words like it'll all be okay, or you're doing the best that you can. I think it is an allowance to be hurt and to be heartbroken and to mourn for the dreams you have for your kid. And that's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to cry. Those are okay. And you don't have to own them. My son turned 18 6 months ago, and as much as I tried to encourage him and to be there for him and to give him all the things to graduate, he has made the decision not to go to school, not to do the work, and that's not my decision to make. It's his. And so it is okay to watch your kids when they're in your house, when they're not in your house, when they're young, when they're old. It's okay to watch them make poor choices and to be sad about it, to be heartbroken about it, and to be honest about it with yourself and with other people. I have spent the better part of the past 5 years just being honest and not lying. I mean, I'm not going to say that my son's doing great and in high school and we have this amazing relationship and he's on the basketball team or the sports team or I'm a soccer mom, or the other side and say, nothing about it. I'm going to be honest. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. My son ran away. I don't know where he is. He's been gone for 30 days. The police can't find him. Probation can't find him. And I'm going to wear that on my sleeve because that's our journey. And everyone has their own journey. And that's not to say that soccer moms and parents of children who are easier don't have their own struggles. We all have their own struggles, but I think it's about being honest with what your struggle is, with yourself and with other people. And I see when I'm scrolling through social media, especially right now, all these parents with kids who are graduating, and I'm so happy for them and I'm so happy for their kids, but I don't see people being honest about the struggle. So I want to be honest about the struggle, because you can feel very isolated and alone if you don't be honest about where you're at. Because if you're not honest, who's going to be able to relate to you if all you're showing it outwardly is the good stuff. Today is not the good stuff. Today is the really hard, nitty-gritty, bad stuff. When all I want is to go to my son's graduation. And 2 years ago, when I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning, driving around town, looking for my son, because I have no idea where he's at. The hard stuff is meeting with principals, knowing what they're going to say, meeting with probation, meeting with the counselors. Let's talk about the hard stuff and be there for each other in the hard stuff. And parenting a child who is difficult is the hard stuff. It is hard. And it's even harder when they've become an adult and you legally have no say in where they're going or what they're doing. So I have to just stand aside and watch him make choices that may alter his life or the people around him. And all I can do is just be there and encourage him and do my hardest to not own his choices, because ultimately, he is his own human. He has to learn how to exist in this world. Now, how he does that is on him. I can be there to support him and encourage him and give him all the advice that I can, but I can't make the choices for him. And I also can't sit and curl up in a ball and feel sorry for myself or feel like a failure of a parent because of where he's at right now. I have to know that I've done the best that I can for him. And sometimes the best and your all doesn't always lead to where you want your kid to be. And that's okay. It hurts, and it's okay to feel sad and feel heartbroken, but it doesn't mean you stop living your life or you define who you are based upon who your children are. I spent the morning at an event, helping out, volunteering, giving back. Tonight I'll go work again. I have a rehearsal for a wedding that I'm coordinating tomorrow. I have to do all the things in my life. I can't stop my life because he has chosen to stop his and not move forward and not grow. That doesn't mean that today's not going to be hard. But it's important to not stuff it down. So, when I was listening to the book today, I've been wanting to write things down because I feel like I have stuff to say to the world. I've been wanting to create a video. I've been wanting to do all these things to say things. I have things to say. Things to say about parenting, things to say about relationships, things to say about so much. And when I was listening to Rachel Hollis today say, girls, stop apologizing and, stop making yourself little. Stop, be as big as you want to be. Be who you are. And who I am is a hurt mom. A mom who has given everything for my son in the past 18 years and still struggles with feeling like a failure despite it. I'm a mom whose kid is not graduating. I'm a mom whose kid does use drugs, who does make poor choices, who had all the things that he needed to be set up to be successful and chose not to utilize any of them. And I know I'm not the only mom out there like that. I know it. And so for the moms whose kids are not where you want them to be, it's okay to be honest. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay for you to still choose happiness and to still choose to laugh and to still choose to live and to find your own joy despite having to watch someone you love, someone you've brought into this world, not live up to all the things that you want them to be. So I'm not apologizing for that. That's me not apologizing for that, not apologizing for being where I am in life right now. I'm not sorry that I am gonna work my hardest to find my own happiness in my own relationship and in my own business and allow my son to make his choices. I'm not going to follow him around and try and make them for him. I'm not going to enable him to make the poor choices. And I'm not going to be sad every day and identify and put my identity in his success and in his choices. So, well, there it is. I hope there's somebody that needed to hear that. Maybe I just needed to say it. Thank you. If you made it through this, thank you for watching.